principal policy framework. That will be blanket framework for everybody to unify the way you think and the way you behave. But there is always that allowance for nuance analysis or assessment or implementation of what you want in your local government.
One of my major takeaway is about risk management. I learned so much about the risk management stuff that we have. And one that I would really love to implement in my area is about the urban miners. Welcoming the urban miners. Who are these urban miners? They are those card pushers that you think they are not supposed to be there. There are things we can do to implement their usage instead of just telling them off the streets.
Outside the outskirts of the town or a city. Over time, development has caught on with them. In other clients, what you do is that you plan for urban flow.
Being a part of the Lagos Governance Academy has been a very eye-opening experience for me. I've learned a lot of novel initiatives and novel avenues to view governance and administration. And I've also learned that politics is meant to be a participatory activity. If given the opportunity to serve my constituency in the next election, I will be implementing some of the take-homes that I've gotten from this place. And I do know that by doing so, we'll definitely be able to create an inclusive and better community for ourselves in Lagos State and in Nigeria in general. So thank you, everyone.
What do you think we can do to make the local governments perform exceedingly well, to such an extent that all these problems that we are having can be minimized to a certain extent?
One of these legal struggles is that the bank of Canada, they now have more traffic. So for the city has no provision for where to park precious.
DK Massive Mohammed came today to tell you my goals, to tell you how I can impact the local government and prove to you. My vision is to make the local government the model local government. And this is what I want to do. I'll give few points. I'd like you to consume it and understand it and give me your votes so I can come and look at it.
And the way I sustain your place, visual sustainability around Lagos market. Design number one, stores that are available to people to practice local markets, a better designing place and all that. They also the sustainability aspect, food waste from our market. The fruit market in Ojota was a time, is in my tour. All those things that we put up for pineapple, there's a lot of the record body that can be cost for if you build the necessary facility for recycling and coke.
I think that the most important thing I've learned today is how to answer questions in debates. That's something that I've not really thought about or had anyone teach me. And I took a lot of time learning and understanding it. I'm going to go home and practice and watch a few more videos. And
people really don't come to us. But when I heard about what and our organization has been doing in Poshoto and Ajebule Ikorodu, I was like, this is marvelous. They can also transfer this to my own local government if she doesn't mind. That is professor. Because we need more of this to awaken our people about our public policy direction participation. It should be all inclusive thing. But in reality, for me, maybe because of where I come from, but I can tell you it happens in many places like that in Lagos State.
If you look at the toast, but that express is already coming up with different point. What are we doing? You understand? We wait until another we should sue or record. Serious. People will not start taking our solution.
You have neighborhood businesses a lot on our streets. So in the Lagos is normal.
when you use the house, you build shops in the shop. Then after building the shop, you now do an extension to the shop. You understand?
Because there's been no proper planning in terms of markets. I'm going to show us something about markets here, Taro. Markets development.
So lots of rural owners are missed cases in the area of market development. Mechanic workshops on the streets and co, because we don't designate. Because our biggest problem in Lagos now is land is the only thing land is meant for is to build a house. Whereas the house needs some other things to function. There are markets, shops, there are also for.
Secondly, we realize that each time there's PPP things, its price is usually on the high side, and at the end of the day is out of context for people. People can only afford such platings at the end of the day.
So company have an input or we able to take rent prices, reps.
Hi everyone, my name is Abrazat Mohamed Akoni, a member in the Lagos City Parliament representing Lagos Island Constituency 2. Here at this program organized by Rethink Lagos, I have learned a whole lot about local government governance, ranging from the community engagement, the development, the measures, and at the same time, the budgetary procedure of the local government, which I believe that this has actually fine-tuned my understanding with respect to local governance as a whole.
I'll be thinking in future time, not so distant time, that this will be done to onboard elective office holder, like in local governments, where a local government you think like a retreat, say, all week for a new start and continuously for it. I want to actually allow this whole support you that this should not stop. Because you're giving a scientific good to solve our local problems.
Parted so much that I just can't wait to go out there and begin to do exploits. As a result of all of things I've learned from this training. So I just want to say thank you very much, the organizers.